Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. How do I record an episode? Where do I find background music? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple: Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. So, if you've always wanted to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Moving Past You radio show. I am your host, Juanita Gaynor, and this is just a brief nugget of wisdom. This evening, I want to talk about our waiting season, and particularly coming out of your waiting season. One of the scriptures that I do love that speaks to this is Isaiah, the 40th chapter and the 31st verse. And I'm going to read the King James version of it. And it says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And the reason why I just decided to do a brief little talk on this evening is just some of the things that has happened over the last couple of days. Many times when we've asked God for something and to progress forward, He will say yay, nay, or wait. And wait is always the hardest term to accept. It's like we've been given a death sentence. But the waiting season, like I've said in previous shows and podcasts, it's a reason for the waiting season is to purge you and prepare you for the next step. There's processes in our lives that we're in a waiting season for just about many of the things. So even though we may be in one waiting season for another thing, we're coming out of a waiting season for another. And I wanted to really speak to you this evening about how do you know when you're about to come out of a waiting season? When you're in a waiting season, it just doesn't happen overnight. And when you're coming out, it just doesn't happen overnight without preparation. I do, work at another position. I do have companies, but there's some things I've been asking God for, and He has had me in a pattern for the last couple of years, and I couldn't get it the first time around. I didn't understand why He was having me there, and I was fighting with Him on it, and I was doing all the things that I wanted to do, and it just extended the waiting season because I wasn't learning the things that I needed to learn so that I can move forward in the purpose in which He's given me. Once I realized that, I decided that I was going to do His time and only His time. And if I got frustrated, if I got discouraged, that I was going to seek Him. And trust me, I've gotten frustrated. I've gotten discouraged. I've wanted to throw my hands up and just be like, I am done. But when I did that, I would seek Him more. I would go to prayer. I would go in meditation. I would pick up my word. I would reach out to confidants that could pray with me, and for me, and where I can really share my experiences and not be judged. So, the Lord with me, when He shows me glimpses of things, He never gives me the full picture. And that's just because the type of person that I am. If He showed me everything, I'm going to try to figure out how to do it my way and in my time and get it quicker. So He shows me glimpses to prepare me for certain aspects or, transitions that are coming about. Now, there has been some things that has transpired over the last couple of months that has prepared me, and I'm seeing, okay, it's time for me to really lock into what I'm supposed to be doing. It's time for me to fully execute and prepare things and get them in order because He is showing me He's about to bring me out of this season. I don't know when that will be, but I need to be prepared when He does. So that was some months ago. He had showed me some things. But then what we do sometimes, what I know I do it all the time, is we get complacent. We get comfortable. We think that the job is going well, or the relationship is going well, or the circumstances are going well. And we kind of slip back into what we were doing before we got into the waiting season. And so this is December, I think probably about September, there was a major shakeup and a major wake up call. It was like, okay, let me begin to do what I'm supposed to do. And I started doing more of it. I started, being diligent about it, but, I got into a little, I'm not even going to say a lazy spell. This just time of year is pretty, difficult with, loved ones and holidays. I'm not much of a holiday person. So, it's just, working through some challenges. So this week has been pretty challenging in the aspect that some things have happened that now has made me look and say, okay, you must get ready. You must be in order. You must do the things that you need to do. And sometimes what God will do to us is he will make it so crystal clear that you can't even deny that this is what's happening or that this is what's going on. He's going to make it crystal clear what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you need to do it. And so this week has shown me that, the little comfort zone that I allowed myself to be in, I can no longer be in. I have to fully execute the things he needs me to execute so he can move me on to the next season, or not even the next season, the next part of my journey. And he has given me those glimpses of what that is going to be. But I can't be in this wait season for another 6 months or another year or another 2 years. Like, he is showing me crystal clear when it's going to pull me out. But if I don't execute what needs to happen, then he's not going to do it. And I know sometimes for most of us, it's scary, especially those who may be new to, the faith, who are new believers, new followers, and for those of us who have been in it for 20 plus years. We get complacent, we get comfortable, we get fearful, and we do forget, that God is just an awesome God. He is a patient God, and he is always willing to just be there and do what we need to have done. Like, he knows we're going through these struggles. He knows we're having these issues, but he is waiting for us to say, you know what? I'm having this issue. I need your help. I need your guidance to do that. And that's what he's going to do. He's not a genie in a bottle that you just rub and just be like, okay, when it's tough, I'm just going to say, can you help me? Do whatever. I'll come to you the last resort. That's not how it works. He seeks relationships with us. And so therefore, just like our parents, like I was doing a talk a couple of days ago, and the analogy I gave was, think of us as little children, and you are trying to get something off the counter. And instead of asking mom or dad to help you, you keep trying to get it. You keep trying to get it. You keep trying to get it. Now, mom and dad is standing right there, but they don't get up to move to help you get it. Do you know why? Because you haven't said that you needed help. The way they look at it is okay, you're flexing your independence. You're flexing that you know it all. So we're going to let you go ahead and do it. It's a part of the learning process. But the minute you turn around and say, Mom, Dad, can you help me get this? What do? They get up and they help you do it. And that's what God is doing. He is not going to impose himself on you unwillingly. He is going to sit back in the cut and wait for you to make the decision to ask for help and that you need him. He wants to guide you. He wants to direct you. He wants you to be all successful. And he doesn't want you to fear or struggle or any of those things. But you first have to acknowledge that you need him and that you want him to be the guiding person, guiding light in your life. You know, I am so grateful that I am beginning to move out of this waiting season. This has been a tough one for me, but there were some lessons that had to be learned. There were some people that needed to be purged. There were some attitudes that had to be purged. So in the beginning of this season, I was not happy about it because I couldn't see everything. I couldn't see the forest for the trees. And because I couldn't see the forest for the trees, I thought I was being punished. I thought I was being, God had just turned away from me. I thought he just no longer cared. And that was not the case. This season has been for me to see for those people who are truly in my corner, for me to connect with others that I didn't know before, but who are on the same path mentally and spiritually and emotionally, and is trying to grow to even more go higher than what they are. It was to connect with those that, who have gone through similar experiences when it comes to depression or child abuse or domestic violence, just to connect with those people. But I couldn't do it in the position that I was in at that time. So therefore, he had to put me in a season where I could purge all the other people that were doing harm, people, places, and things, so that then he can purify me. He can then prepare me so that when I go into the next phase of my journey, I don't bring all of that dirt and muck and mess with me. So just know that when your waiting season is about to come out, there's going to be trials. There's going to be more tribulations. What he's doing now is he is making you aware of the things that you need to fix and you need to get together, because he's ready to pull you out, but you're at the point holding it up. So when you start seeing those signs, when you start seeing things happening and coming to fruition that he has showed you about your process and about your journey, it's time. It means you're coming out of the existing waiting season. You're about to go to the next step, but he's letting you know, he's giving you those glimpses like, okay, it's coming, but I need you to clear this up. It's coming. You've gotten too comfortable. It's coming. Let's go. So never be discouraged about your waiting season, being in it and coming out of it, because it's always worth the wait. It's always worth the wait. So be patient, enjoy it, take the lessons, apply the lessons, and be ready for greater. I want to thank you so much for listening to Nuggets of Wisdom on Moving Past You. And I want you to be sure to visit our Facebook group for Moving Past You so you can join the conversations, access show notes, and get fantastic bonus content. Also, you can find us on iTunes and Spotify. So I want to leave you with this. Always remember to be kind in your word, your thought, and in your deed. Be blessed. Have a great evening, and we'll speak soon.